we're going to try this. I think I have it going to YouTube. Rob's checking for me. How is everyone this evening? Welcome in, everyone. Barbara, Terwin, Sharon, Vinty Pup, Susan, Wendy, hello. Autism Crew, hello. Pamira, Allie, Sharon, Susan, and Pamira, hello, everybody. How are you doing? Just got off work. Hi, Jennifer. We are, it says we're casting to YouTube, so here's hoping, right? I don't see it yet, but I do see the Dangle rain train from earlier today. So this is a good thing. Hi, Greta. How are you? Hi, Martha. You got your YouTube notification. Thank goodness. Okay. So, Allie, yeah. We talked about it, and the thing is when you do a co-host, it's a split screen. You are live. And so you only have half a screen to see. Thank you. Yes, you are. So we talked about it and figured because everybody wanted to see this, it would probably be best to do separate shows. So we are going to do my portion of this, and then we are going to raid into Carmen. She has a show set up. So if you are going to play along, I put in the show notes some basic supplies to do this. You need obviously your kit if you have it. I'm reading. Extra cardstock or paper to practice with your pen. Some type of either ink or paint. And I'm going to show you how you can water down the paints to work with your glass pen. Scissors, a paper cutter, some adhesive, water, and a small dish to like something like this to mix them up in if you do not have an acrylic ink. And then for the dangle portion of it, I didn't grab another dangle. Oops. That's okay, we'll work with it. You need to have your kit, some glue, and seriously, this is perfectly fine. The only thing we're going to use the glue for is to create a needle out of our thread. If you have the kit, you can just use basic string, because I wanted to make a dangle without all of the beading tools. So if you are a junk journaler and you have no beading experience whatsoever, I wanted to be able to teach you how to actually make dangles without having to go to the expense of buying all of the beading things. I am going to be doing a actual dangle tutorial on Thursday for my Create With Me. So if you want to learn how to do like this kind of a dangle, we're going to be doing these on Thursday. So please bookmark that show. So that's kind of where we're at. Well, hello, Dragon Scale. How are you doing, my friend? It's been a minute. Yes, learn to make them. A reworker's passion. Hello, my dear. Faithy, welcome. Poutruge, welcome in. Crafty Gal, Mary, Auntie, Katie, hello, my sweet. Okay, so if I missed you, I apologize. It's kind of flying by. Pamela says, oh, cool. I actually have some painted circles that need help, so I can grab the pen and play with those. Absolutely. Hi, my friend. C. Penny, welcome. Spooky Monkey, hello. Sarita, hello. So if you are not aware, let me grab one so I can show you. Uno momento. I don't know if this is the right one. Uh-oh. This is the right one. I'm dropping things. So if you got this kit from Carmen, this is what it is going to look like when you get it. Within this box, there are a lot of amazing things. Hi, Sarita. We are going to, absolutely, you can use, that is actually best. If you have actual dip ink. However, there is a lot of people that purchase this kit but do not have that. They have acrylic paints, they have other things. So I wanted to make sure that I could show some alternatives, let you play with it, and if you like it, then you can go and purchase the actual, there's all kinds of different inks. I have a bunch of different inks in my bin. If you're interested, you have no clue about the kit. Okay, so Gathered Crafter. Can somebody tag Carmen? I don't know where in the world she is. Exactly. So these kits are amazing. I think she has a couple left for sale, but part of this kit was a glass. Thank you, Stray Cat. Appreciate you, love. Was a glass pin. Everybody loves the glass pin. They are not cheap. It came in this kit, but now everybody wants to know, what do I do and how do I use it? So that is kind of the goal for tonight. The other thing that came in this kit, I'll see if I can find it because I've already used mine in the other one. It's buried in here. So it comes with cling stamps. It comes with washi tape. It comes with stickers. It comes with these. Some tissue paper, and then 2 packs, get to it, of cards with envelopes. Carmen is going to, we're going to be raiding into Carmen, who is Gathered Crafter. She is going to be doing a project with the paper and the envelopes. So don't use that as your scrap paper for tonight. The other thing it came with was this little charm. And we are actually going to use this little charm in making our dangle tonight. So we are going to start with that. And those of you that purchase the kit, I do have a kit available in the bin. You can get either a neutral kit, and it is a way to use your little charms and dangles, or you can get a pink kit because, you know, Carmen requested a pink kit. Yes, this is separate. What comes in her kit is this little charm, and they asked if I would show a way to make that into a dangle. So I do have kits available for this, but if you have string, I know everything with Carmen. If you have string, some tattoo, and just some beads, some fibers. This is Sari Silk. You can do this. I just want to show you that it is flip the camera around. I'm frozen. I'm going to cover it for a second. I'm going to flip around and we're going to go down to this desk here. Okay, there we go. All right. So get out your dangle. For those of you that purchased the kit, what you want to do right now is take your thread, whether it is this one or whether it is the tan one, and you want to take some glue. It doesn't matter the kind. All we are going to do is I'm squeezing this up so I can see it, and I'm dipping my cord in the glue. Because what I'm going to do, you don't need a beading needle. I'm going to take my fingers and I'm just going to smooth that glue out, pull it down into a point, and then I'm going to set it aside to dry. And what that's going to do is it's going to stiffen and it will act as a needle to thread your beads. Kathy, welcome. Critter Chops, hello. Thrift with Carly, welcome. Creative Crafters Outlet, hello. The 1799 house, hello. Welcome, my friends. We are doing just a basic, yeah, you don't, I don't know if I'm a genius, Katie, but I try to make things as simple as possible so you buy the least amount of supplies to be able to function. If you want all the tools and you want to buy all the supplies, I'm right there with you because I have over the years gotten most of them. But for starting out, I want people to be able to not feel hindered by their lack of funds to buy all the things. I want to give everyone the opportunity to create with us and use what you have on hand. So there's that. This is literally just some random beads that I pulled up. I do have the lobster. I have a 10 millimeter jump ring and a 5 millimeter jump ring. Thank you, Katie. I have some basic spacer beads, and then I have some blingy beads. It's really not a lot. You can use as many or as few as you want. If you don't have beads, you don't have to use beads. You can just use your different fibers. Of course, it's in the other room, but I have kits and taught a class on just fiber dangles for your journals. This is some, just some pink, like baker's twine. This is a, like a cotton cording. So it is 100% feasible to create beautiful things without having to buy all the things, okay? So when this dries, it's not completely dry because, you know, I should have done this first and then talked. But this stiffens up into like a needle. So you can thread your beads on. So how I did this, and you do however you want to do. I don't want to do this 3 times for 4 different bang bleh, start over. I don't want to have to do this 4 different times because we are doing 4. Let me get all the threads out of the way so you can see what I'm talking about. For this kit, we are doing 4 different beaded dangles. I don't want to figure out my lengths. I don't want to have to make a needle 4 times to make this fit, okay? So, what I did was, might actually work. I string on all of my beads to start off with. Yeah, I'm going to have to use that glued in to do that. If you're struggling getting your cord through your beads because the hole is too small, what you want to do is take a very sharp pair of scissors and cut that at an angle. Okay. So you can work from top to bottom, bottom to top, however you want to do it. So if I start with this dangle right here, I'm going to take my large cube and I'm just going to do a loose knot at the other end because we don't want all those beads to come off at the other end. Bougie Crafter, hello, my sweet. How are you? Weathered Shanty, hello. Critter Chop says creativity is always in your imagination, not your budget. Some people have little and create awesome things. Very true. And I try as a teacher to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to create. And I love giving options of what you can use to create. So if you notice, I'm stringing beads from bottom to top. I'm doing fabulous. Hi, Kay. Cleta unlocked bronze. Awesome. So I have the large cube. I have one of the 5mm beads. I have one of the pinky crystals. Another one of the 5mm. B, hello, my sweet. How are you? Welcome. We're just making some dangles with no beading tools. It's a situation. And then we're going to put another crystal. And how I delineated between each of these is this little 3mm. So at the top of each of these, I have a 3mm. So I know this is going to be my first dangle. Okay. I'll hold it up there so you can see it if you're following along. There's our first dangle. I'm going to go to the next one. So the bottom one there is one of these larger crystals, a 5mm. One of the pinky crystals, another 5mm. Maple, my love, how are you? Hi, Pam, welcome in. One of your little squares or cubes. And then again, this little 3mm, and that is the end or the beginning of another dangle. Get on there. So this is what that one looks like. So we're going to go to the next one. And the next one, Booze Mom 95 and Karmic Romance, welcome in. So for this one, we are going to do one of our crystals, one of the 5mm. And if you have the kit, you can do whatever you want. You do not have to follow my pattern, okay? It's just, this is how I strung it, and I'm following along what I did so I don't run out of beads. Another 5mm, another cube, one of these little corrugated spacers, and another one of the itty bitty 3mm. And this one is giving me problems. Get on there. Try a different one. There we go. Kindle Happy, welcome in. So we've completed this one. And now we're going to go to our last one that we are going to put our charm on. So our last one is one of the larger crystals, the other pumpkin, Ashley, welcome, and this one that is giving me fits. So if you have a bead that's giving you fits like this, as a creator of all things junk journals, I'm going to assume that you have a pokey tool. If you have a pokey tool or an awl, you can just put that in the bead and kind of open that up, okay? If you don't have that, you can use a straight pin. It does the same thing. You can use a nail. It does the same thing. You can use a safety pin. Whatever you have on hand that is going to poke into that hole, that you can open that up a little bit. So again, our pokey tools are nice. They're fun, but there are other household items that you can use to get the job done. Okay. So now we're going to put that through. It is not going to give me that much of a problem. Yes, Pumera is a DJ. I'm answering that question for her. Are you at work, Pumera? So now we've completed this. So you get a visual of what we're doing here. We're literally going to loop all of these and just make a loop and an overhand knot, okay? So we're going to start at this end. I'm going to fold this over, and I'm just going to do a little overhand knot. I'm wrapping it around. My loop is going to go through. And this is how this particular one is going to hook. I want to pull that tight. And then this is my first bead. And if you remember, I said I delineated by these little 3mm. So all of these beads here, no, I lied. All of these beads are going to go on this first one because I'm stopping. This is going to be the top of the next one. So this is actually the one that has our charm on it. So what we're going to do is just take this. You can cut them however long or however short you want. I think I cut them about 2 inches for those that need measurements. Yeah, my dangles are 2 to 3 inches each. You should have enough cord for that. So I'm going to take my scissor. I'm going to snip this off, making sure my beads don't fall off, okay? On this end, I want to tie this around my loop, but I'm going to put my little charm on it first. I start with the hardest one, right? I said I wasn't going to use tools, but I'm going to because I need to open this. And my old lady hands will not open it. I lied, kids. Sorry. If you're going to open a jump ring, if you have 2 pairs of pliers, you want to do it side to side, if at all possible. I'm going to hook on my charm. Now, if you don't have this, you can just put your string through here, okay? And then I'm going to close it side to side so that doesn't come off. All right, so whether you're putting this through your, excuse me, your letter charm or the loop in your kit, all you want to do is just loop it through and just tie a knot. Now, if you want to secure all of these knots, you can with a drop of glue. Because these are going to go on a journal or a journaling project, they're not going to see a ton of use like if you were doing a purse charm. So there is our first dangle. Okay, so our second one, we're going to do the same thing we did here. We're just going to loop it over, tie it in a knot. Who else playing along with me today? And pull that loop tight. Mara, awesome. Thank you. Susan, awesome. So we have our first one. Critter, always good to learn, right? We're going to slide these beads up. And again, we're stopping because our little 3 millimeter is the top. So this is our next string of beads. Okay. So if you want to measure 2 to 3 inches, I'm going to chop it a little bit longer because I have all of this string left for these two. I'm going to take my scissors, do a snip, and I'm just going to tie a knot. This is going to hold my beads on. And like I said, if you want to, you absolutely, Allie in bed but watching, awesome. It's going to hold them on. You can put a drop of glue if you need to. So there's our second one. On to the third. Again, starting out with that little overhand knot, you loop it around and just tie a little knot. So if you want to make dangles, you've got some pretty beads, you got them in a, I don't know, a buyout, you bought some from somebody on here, but you don't want to buy all the tools, you don't want to buy all the findings. This is a good way to learn how to put some bling on your journal. I'm going to chop these kind of in half. Go all the way down. This is my top 3 millimeters, so these are going to be my last beads. So I'm just going to chop this, again, tying an overhand knot, pulling it tight, and that's going to hold those beads on. Set that aside. We have one more, and we're all just assembling at this point. Again, at the top, you're going to make a loop, loop that around, pull that tight, and then at the bottom, this little knot we made to hold our beads on when we first started stringing, I'm just scooching it down to the end, pulling that tight, and now we have, bada bing, 4 dangles. If you have the kit in your kit, you have this 10 millimeter, it opens up, okay? You're going to put on your lobster and you're going to string on those loops that you made in whatever order you want. And then you're going to push it closed. It's like finger kung fu. You don't think you can do it. You can do it. I would suggest, because you have bigger man hands, I would suggest using more cord so you have more room to make those knots. Also in your kit, you have a couple of strings. You have a fiber and then you have some sari silk. All you want to do, and you can do a lark head knot or you can just tie this through, string it through your large 10 millimeter, meeting those ends up and just doing an overhand knot again. This is how simple it is. Doing the same thing with the fiber. We're going to go on the other side. Center it up and do an overhand knot. Y'all, we just made a dangle. It is kind of, but we just made a really pretty dangle for our journal. If you don't have lobsters, you can use the bulb pins. If you don't have the bulb pins, you can use a safety pin. There's so many different options to be able to get some bling on your journals. So, any questions on that? And this is the neutrals kit. So they're all the exact same beads, it's just different fibers. So these are neutral fibers. Cleta, thank you. I appreciate that. You can bling these up. You can put 10 fibers on these. You don't even have to have beads. You can just put sari silks. You can put strips of fabric. There are so many options to doing these things, and they're very simple and very, this cord is I think it's like a 1 millimeter. And it's just, I don't have that actual in here, but it's just like a cotton cord. Maybe a 0.7, 0.5, 0.7 maybe. There is a kit in my bin. I will pin it just to make it easy. You need to choose whether it's pink or neutral. And there. So you get all the things. These charms will not be in your kit because these charms came with the kit that Gathered Crafter was selling. So we're going to set that aside and we're going to do some maths, and we are going to pivot to some paint. So this is the moment everybody's been waiting for. Get out your glass pen. Please understand. Oh, thank you, Critter. Not all glass pens are created equal, okay? These are probably a mid-grade one. They're fairly smooth. If you have purchased some on the Big A or wherever you get glass pens, and you find that it is not working, it may not be you. It may be that you have a little scratchy point on your pin. Rebecca, thank you very much for your purchase. So it can be filed off very gently with either a piece of sandpaper or with like a very non-rough nail file. So just be very careful with it when you're doing it. But I will say if you're having difficulties, it may likely be that it is not a good pin. These are fairly decent. They're a mid-range, like I said. Mine came out of the box very smooth, so we're good. Okay. I am going to say this. I'm going to make a huge assumption that Carmen is going to be making some type of a journal. Zep Karen, hello, my friend. Hi, STL doll. How are you, dear? So this is, we're going to write. Maybe we're going to write. I don't know what you called this kit, Carmen, so not positive. So in this kit, there are papers that are 6 5/8 inches by 5 inches. There are also envelopes that are 5 1/4 inches by 3 3/8 inches. So my thought was Carmen is going to be using all of these pretty papers and envelopes to make something tonight. I am going to assume that she is going to hook these together. She's going to have pages. So my thought was to make a tag that will fit inside of one of these envelopes. Vintage Post. Thank you, Ellie. So glass pins, do you have to write with them, or can you feel the tip if you need to know they need to be fixed? You can feel it. It will have, because this is really smooth. But if this had like a piece of glass that it wasn't, you would be able to feel it. It would very possibly cut you. So carefully check it. So there's that. So my thought process over this is we can make tags to go in here, right? So I preemptively, because, you know, over prepare, overachiever, cut some cardstock. Now, if you don't want to do this and you want to wait and see what she's doing, because honestly, y'all, I'm doing this on an assumption. I do not know if this is actually what she's doing. So I could be 100% wrong, but just in case, that's what I'm making. So what I have done is cut some base cards and some actual cardstock. Carmen, you're here. Hi, love. You're here but out. So can you hear me? That's the question. Hi, love. I have a question. I'm making the assumption that you're going to make some type of a book out of this. So what I did is I cut some base card and some neutrals that will fit in here as a tag. I also preemptively, just in case I was wrong, cut some smaller ones. So if we need to go this way because you're taking up too much room. Awesome. Will that work with what you're doing? So I can give them these measurements. Awesome. See, I know my friend. I know what she likes. Alrighty then. So, where'd my pen go? If you want to do the tag that fits this direction, the tag base cardstock is 4 by 2.5, and your neutral would be 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. Okay. For, let's just say, a journaling card, your base cardstock will be 5 by 3 1/4. Can you tell I love math? And your neutral will be 4 3/4 by 3 inches. Okay. So if you want to screenshot this for future for cutting what you have, but what I want us to do before we get that far, everybody got that screenshot? I want to just take some neutrals and I want to play with this pen. Okay. I just want to be able to show you what we're doing. How many people need to learn how to mix actual acrylic paint to use your dip pen? That's a question. Aisha, Susan, Sharon, Molly, you didn't even know you could. STL, Rebecca, got you. Okay, so this is important. So we're going to go with this. Get this out of the way. This is just a paint well, okay? I have clean water beside me, and I have a little pipette that I'm going to add some water. When you are mixing, I swear that's going to roll off if I don't stop. When you are mixing your paints, I'm going to go with just a regular acrylic, and this is probably going to come out really fast, so we're going to try this. I may have to use a second thing. So I usually do like 2/3 paint to 1/3 water. But what I want to do is show you. I have stirry thingies somewhere. Critter Chops, where did I put those stirry thingies I got from you, sweetie? Ah, look, they're right in front of me. Re-inking ink, that would be amazing, yes. Absolutely. Because that you don't need to water down because it's, well, possibly not have to water down. So we're going to put some water in and we're going to mix. And this, I hate to say this, my friends, but this is trial and error. You need to have water to clean your pen. And the thing with it is you want to make it fluid, like a fluid ink. If you are mixing it with water, what you are writing is going to take longer to dry and it is going to smear easier. Just be aware. Bougie Crafter, this is actually going to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Tam's Creative Journey, all one word, no spaces, and you will be able to watch it after you rest your pretty little head. So you want it liquid, you want it fluid, the consistency of a fluid ink. Is it perfect? No. Do I suggest it for projects? No. It will dry, it will be fine, but you're not going to get the same result that you would get if you had actual fluid acrylic inks or if you had the dip inks. The, what's the word I'm looking for? The oh, for all that is holy, Tamerlane. The India inks that are made for fountain pens. Thank you, love. I guess maybe I'm tired. I shouldn't get this tired. It's been a day. We did a Dangle Raid Train earlier today. That was fun. And you see how it's getting that liquidy. That's what we want, okay? We want it to be liquidy so it will flow off of our pen. Very important. I'm going to set this up here. So, taking my pen and, oh, not those. I'm going to just get a piece of scratch paper. When you're using the pen, the reason it has these lines in it is because those hold your ink. And it's going to flow down, and the consistency is going to make a huge difference. And I probably shouldn't have got that much. You're going to dip it in, and you just want to wipe the sides. I don't know if it doesn't feel like I got it fluid enough. We're going to try it. It has been a long day. So, oh, I don't think I got it fluid enough. I did not. But you're getting the ideas. So you want that ink to flow down your pen as you're writing. How can I do this? And this is where we play. You don't want this to dry on your pen. Oh, look, that got really fluidy. It has been a long day. So every time you dip in your ink, you always want to wipe the edges so you don't get huge blobs, okay? And this is why I said have scratch paper, because you want to play with that consistency. Still not. Check the tip of it. And here's the other thing. If ink dries in these divots, you're going to have to clean your pen and start all over again. Barbara is going to join us on the Artisan, oh my gosh, mashup that we are doing. We're getting there, guys. Is it perfect? No. Will it work? Yes. I know, I'm so excited. It's starting to dry on my pen. And you're watching me just play with this. You're going to get to a consistency that works for you. It's not going to be perfect with your acrylic paints. And your brand of paint may require more water. It may require less. I don't know. But the fun part about this is always playing. I'm literally grabbing some of that muddy water over there and mixing it in. Oh, we're starting to flow. See how it just dripped off the end of my pen? That tells me we're where we need to be in consistency. So I'm going to get that in all my grooves. I'm going to wipe my edges. I don't want huge drips. And we are going to maybe, oh my gosh, Tam. An act of patience, my friends. Oh, that worked. This is what happens when you forget to wipe it off at the edge. Just pointing out. It's a fun thing. So, this is making your own ink. I've got stuff dried in here. Now it's just acting silly. Excuse me. I'm acting silly and I just got paint everywhere. Excuse me a minute. I'm choking over here. All right. So wipe your edges. And we're just going to do some doodles. Now, as you're going with your pen, if you see, excuse me, if you see it starting to run out, turn it, and that's going to pull ink from another well, per se, or another line in your pen. So you may have to twist it to get that to continue to go. Does that make sense? I'm going to dip this in water. I told everybody to grab clean water and a towel. And I'm going to wipe this off. Christy, welcome. Wins Pigs, welcome. Make sure that, see how that has some of this black dried in here? That could have been what was clogging it up. So before you change colors or before you're finished using your pen and before you put it away, make sure that you get all of that ink out of there, because if one of those is clogged up, it will affect. Ink would drive you bonkers. I draw with it very frequently. Actually, I prefer drawing with a glass pen. I know it's crazy. Some people hate it. I enjoy it. So There's your weirdo friend. I like doing, let me see if I have any next to me. I may. Without just like tearing the whole world apart. I like doing like, this kind of stuff with a glass pen because you can fill in. I really enjoy that. So it's a situation. Yes, absolutely. Cleta, there were a number of people that did not have the dip ink, but they've been dying to play with their pen that they got in this kit. So I just wanted to show them, yes, it is tedious. Yes, it is annoying, but with a regular acrylic paint, you can use your pen. Um, Me personally, I'm all about the dip inks. Okay. 100% all about the dip inks. I need a bigger piece of paper. It's just a hot mess now. Let me get... I'm going to cut just this piece of cardstock into quarters. So we have some cardstock to play with. Another thing with your glass pens, paper does matter. If you have a very porous paper, it is not going to glide smoothly and potentially annoy you. If you have a cheaper paper that soaks everything in, it may not go. So if you have a dip ink, if you have it really doesn't matter what kind it is. This is a Black India ink. I have, what do I have over here? This is a Chinese ink. There's all different kinds and brands of inks to use. Okay. I do have some of the, I don't know if I have any of these in here. These are the Liquitex inks. What else do I have over here? This is the Daler-Rowney inks. There are all different kinds and brands. You will find one that you prefer to play with. So, again, like I said, dip your pen in your ink and just swipe the edge because you don't want those drips and drops, okay? You see the difference? Hello, welcome, Bailey. So much easier. It is 100% worth it to buy the ink. Just saying. Situation. Because what you can do, and let's see, I have ink on here, right? Writing. Did you notice how I kind of rotated it a little bit because it started to get lighter here? Yes. Seriously. That was with one dip. At this point, I can dip again and I can keep writing. And I am literally wiping excess off so I don't have huge blobs. Hello, Maria. How are you? Chardonnay Mason Creations. Welcome. So rather than trying to talk and write at the same time, we are going to do what is asemic writing. And basically, you write, and a lot of the stamps that you find um, will have this. And there's really just nonsense. There's no words, there's nothing here, but your background, your pen rolled off your crafting table and broke, but it gave you an excuse to buy another. Oh my word. And so when you get those funny script stamps and you're like, what the heck do they say? Well, they don't say anything because it's ischemic writing. And people literally sit here and do this, and that's how they create the stamps. So if you don't know what to do, you don't know what to write, and you need some journaling or you just need to get something out of your system, you can write nonsense. And it looks really cool. Look at me going uphill. It looks really awesome in your projects. I think I hit the end of our ink. It looks like shorthand. It reminds me of shorthand. I used to know shorthand. But this makes a really awesome makes a really awesome background. And there we have it. I'm going to dip this in water because I do not want that ink to dry on my pen while I'm jabbering. Nice and clean, drying it off. I never, ever, ever want to put a wet pen in my ink or it will ruin it. Excuse me. So we did this whole sheet with just 2 dips in the ink. Your inks last forever. I suggest buying some ink. 100%. If this is something that you want to play with, if this is something that you want to do, 100% suggest grabbing some inks. I do have a few inks left in the bin. but they're colored inks. I don't know if I have any black ink left. My suggestion is to, if you don't want to purchase some from me, my suggestion is to, where's the best place to get calligraphy inks? Do some shopping, because not all inks are created equal and you need to know what you're going to use it for. Okay. If you are just going to use it for crafting purposes, it doesn't really matter. Um, if you want it to be permanent, you need to make sure that it is a permanent waterproof ink. The other thing that you want to pay attention to is your acrylic inks dry, um, and they don't react. So we're going to go one of my favorites, which is funny because it's extremely pinkish. No, we're not going to do that. I just changed my mind right there because it's just not going to match what we're doing today. We're going to grab this one, which is a burnt sienna that I love, if I can get it open. There we go. So this is a Liquitex acrylic ink. The color is, just got a whole bunch of air bubbles on my pen, but that's okay. Burnt sienna. And we are going to, let's see. Hello, and thank you for joining us on this creative journey. Now you see how it kind of pulled? I moved it sideways, so I got a huge blob. We don't want that. And you will learn with this, just be careful how you position your pen. Dip pens are, for left-handed people, I will say this. Rob hates them and my sister loves them. So it kind of depends on your writing style and how you hold your pen. Okay. So keep that in mind. This is STL. I knew you were going to love this. This is transparent burnt sienna. And see, I sat here and talked and let it dry. And this is what I was talking about. My paint dried on my end. I can see I still have paint in there, but this tip has dried because I was jabbering. There we go. So I restarted it and did not have to waste that ink. It is an interesting experience being left-handed. I struggle with learning calligraphy, but if I freeform, I like the writing. Absolutely. One of the things with left-handed, and I think I've said this to you before, when I teach beading classes, when someone is trying to learn something that is left-handed, um, I say put your device up to a mirror and watch the mirror, not your device, because it will flip-flop everything for you. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I used a lot in my art. We are learning how to use a glass dip pen in our journals and creative projects. Different inks work differently with different types of paper. Play, experiment, and just have fun. Oh no, I'm not going to get my heart in there. That is not cool. There we go. Okay, we got it. Whew. Had a heart attack. Absolutely. And like I said, play with it. Get different. See how that dried? Not good. Bad. I let it dry. So when you have your whatever you're using to write with, here's this color that I just used. It's one of my very favorites. My other favorite that I use all the time, which is really funny because I'm not seeing it. Ah, there it is. The sepia. I love sepia ink. You just bought it. So bad. This is another good one. Muted violet. I'm corrupting you into my world of my favorites. Transparent raw umber. And what else do I have over here that I use a lot? This one. So the deep violet, the muted violet, transparent raw umber, and transparent burnt sienna. I use those very, very frequently. Walnut ink. Yes, I have used walnut ink. Let me see. Do I have some over here? I don't think I have any. Slacken. You would think I would, as many inks as I have, but I don't think I have any more. It could have been one of the ones that dried out in my disaster. I know something that Tam doesn't have. Maria just had a heart attack. Molly, I will pay priority shipping for you to send me walnut husks. I know that sounds insane. Absolutely. Because here's the funny part about it. I use them medicinally as an herbalist. They're a very powerful oh my God, I know. Very, very powerful antifungal. We'll have to talk about that. That's what I need is black walnut. I assumed from where you're at. It's gold. Okay. Absolutely. Molly, we will chat. We'll figure it out. So we're going to go kind of slide sideways and we're going to see what fun we have. This pen is really bugging me because it's not cleaning off. But I don't have time to clean it right now. So I have it sitting in my water, and I do not want this to dry in here. Normally I would get up, I would go to my kitchen sink, and I would scrub this with a brush. But we don't have my kitchen sink in my art room. I don't know if I have one stiff enough, but I'm getting most of it off, and I will let it sit in the water until we're finished here. So I'm going to stop freaking out over that for right now. All right, we're going to go back to this, my friends. So this is where we're at. Also in this kit, we have somewhere. So we have the card. We have some tags. I think we're just going to do those two. Kind of depends on where Carmen's at. If she's home, if she wants to... Oh no, Mr. Bill. I have lost my stamps. So these are the stamps that came in the kit. There is just this like postage one. There is a mail and a quill pen with an ink bottle. And then there's this really cool lady sitting at her writing desk. And then this triangle postage. So what I think we're going to do, because, you know, best laid plans and all, I was going to do a really cool project and have it all prepared for everybody. And because that's what I do. And this time I didn't do that. So we're going to assume that this is going to be a tag, right? So if you do not have a corner punch to make tags, here's the situation. What you want to do is take a pair of scissors, and we are going to chop a corner. Keep that corner that you chopped, flip it over to the opposite side, and chop the opposite side. What that does is it ensures that your corners are even when you're making a tag. Now here's the thing. If I chop the same amount, it's going to look really weird. So if I'm going to do 1/8 of an inch, what I want to do is put that piece, my 1/8 of an inch per se, and chop my corner so it matches. Then I'm going to take that, I'm going to flip it to the other side, and everything is going to line up oh so perfectly. Katie's brain just got blown. Welcome to Tam's Tips and Tricks. So we have everything lined up. What? Okay, it's my fun and games for the day. So what do we want to do here? Do we want to have this as a little journaling card? Do we want this to stand out? There's so many different things we can do here. But taking into consideration, I'm pulling the blues from the papers that Carmen's doing. This other pack has blues and roses. I'm going to assume, because, I can assume with Carmen, that she's going to focus on the pinks. So I'm going to focus on the blues and the browns. Hello, Robin. How are you, love? Are we having fun yet? So I am going to grab, possibly, do I not have, gracious me, oh my, not in here. Okay. We are going to grab my Timber Brown Stays on ink. We are going to take this pretty lady. Now, I don't know about any of the rest of y'all, but I have really struggled with getting these stamps to stick to the block. And yes, I took the cover off, so don't go getting smart with me. Robin, you moved your show to tomorrow. It's been such a long day. It has been a very, 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 Cleta, my word. It's really, how are we even friends? Because I'm not a huge fan of pink. I deal with it, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, it's pink. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's brown and orange and green and blue and purple and all the hit colors. All the hit colors, all the hippie colors. See the hicks coming out of my voice. So when you're inking something, you want to go over it, tap, 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 and you want to build that ink on the rubber, especially with a new stamp, especially. Because sometimes newer stamps have little coatings on them. And sometimes you don't get a good image. Cheryl, my friend, how are you? It has been so long since I've seen you. That's a cool image. Does anybody else think that's a cool image? Excuse me. I love this. You're an impatient stamper. I mean, it depends on what I'm doing, honestly. If I'm doing ATC cards or something, yeah, I'll get really impatient. But with something like this, or when I'm teaching, I'm just patient as can be. So there's that. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to show you another fun trick. Here's another fun trick. We're going to take this off. We're going to set her aside. And this is like, I don't know, like some grungy writing stuff. Here's the thing. I want her to be my main focus. So we're going to pull, oh, well, that's not very nice. What the actual? Oh, I'm going to have to mount this one before I use it. It doesn't have the cling on it, or this is stuck together, one of the two. And I don't have the time or the patience to deal with it, and that's okay. So what we're going to do is this. We are going to take our stamp. We are going to take some, a different brown ink that's not a permanent one. And I'm going to show you how you get some faded. Okay, you can't see through that. I'm going to show you how you're going to get some background, but this is still going to stand out. Does that make sense? I'm going to show you, and then you'll see what I'm trying to say, because apparently I can't English well. This is not working right to stick. So I'm going to use my hand. Again, I'm going to pick up some ink. Now I'm going to show you, this is just a scrap paper. I think it goes this way. I don't even know. If I stamped it full, maybe it's not going to be too dark. But what you want to do is get this inked up, and you can do this with any stamp. Hello, Casey Lovely. How are you? Stamp off on a piece of paper and then come over here. So it's just faded. It's not actually dark, but it gives you that little background. And again, I'm going to stamp this off because I don't want a ton of ink, but I just want to fill this in. So see how we just created a background by stamping off over here. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are making amazing projects as always. Thank you, Casey, my friend. I appreciate you. I'm teaching basic stamping techniques, and we're making tags. We are in cahoots with Gathered Crafter, and we made a beaded dangle. We made some beaded dangles earlier. All of this is on my YouTube channel, which is Tam's Creative Journey, all one word, no spaces. And you can see from the beginning how this whole process worked. So thank you, Casey. Much love to you and your viewers. Have a blessed night, my darling. I appreciate you. Y'all, you need to follow Wired Blessed Beauty. She is just an amazing human. I'm not even kidding. Just saying. She's awesome. Do you see what's bugging me right here? It's just not sharp enough. Shh, don't tell Katie. There we go. That's so much better. So we have a nice little tag. We could go to the extremes of putting an eyelet. We could go to the extremes of putting some of our matching fibers, some sari silk, whatever it is that you want to add to this little tag, we can. Thank you, Carmen. I pulled this, where. Oh no. So you can make this. If you have the cardstock, here's some inks, whatever. This will go, I'm actually going to go really simple. I can't believe I'm getting ready to do this because I don't want to mess with it. Carmen, here's a flash from the past, my darling. It just happened to be sitting there. I didn't want to mess with it right now. I don't want to wait for wet glue to dry. So you can do this very simply. Can I go till 9? I mean, I could find something to do if I have to. I can always find something to do. This is just a little hole punch. Do you need me to? He needs to. Oh, that's far away, Carmen. You're never going to make it home by 9. Oh, that one. I thought you meant the one over here. Like, no, ma'am. Yeah, I can yell at Rob and have him bring me some coffee and we can do this. Is that a heart attack? Giving me a heart attack, my friend. Yeah, we can do this. So we have a tag. You would think I had eyelets in this house somewhere, right? Because I only have 5 million. Oh, Rob heard me. Did you hear that? Did you hear what I said? Carmen just asked me if I could go till 9, and I said if I could get you to bring me hot coffee. And you walked in the door.
Nice. No, I just knew.
Carmen, did you text Rob and like in cahoots with him? That was funny. Perfect timing. I don't have any eyelets. Where in the world are my eyelets? Oh my gosh, you guys. It's a situation. Not finding any eyelets. I guess so. So there, we've got this. I'm finding things. Give me a minute. Oh look, I'm gonna concede to Carmen's ness. I have some vintage seam binding. Everything will match. Tasha, hello, beautiful. How are you? We're winging it right now. This is going to look much better when it's in Carmen's project, right? Those are definitely not my fabric ones. I'm doing fabulous. We are doing some interesting little projects tonight with a kit that Gathered Crafter has been selling. I did the dangle portion of it. I'm doing the glass pin portion of it. And then, thank you, darling. And then she is going to be coming on and doing the use other stuff. You need envelopes, paper. Okay. I'm adding pink to my stuff so it matches your stuff, because that's how we roll around here. It's a situation, Carmen. It's all good. I have plenty of stuff. I just can't find my eyelets, because why would I find my eyelets? There, we made a cute little tag, right? Again, so Carmen, which one are you using? This one or this one? I'm going to assume this one because it's got the pink. You need help with your eyelets? I need to find my eyelets. Probably this one with the pink. Okay, so you can use the pinks. It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. I'm doing blues. Look at this. So these kits are amazing. They come with all this writing paper. And they have matching envelopes. Carmen, do you have any of these kits left? It's like my favoriteest. You do. So if you're loving what we're doing here, Carmen actually has some of these kits in her bin. And we will be raiding into her at 9 o'clock, apparently. And you can get a kit sent to you. All right, let me see if I can find some eyelets. I know I have a million of them. Like 2 million eyelets. And when I need them, I can't find any. Let's see what happened. Wired Plus Beauty. Thank you, darling. I appreciate you. Cosmic Drips. Hello. I appreciate you. Y'all, I'm going to just shout this out. Wired Blessed Beauty, my beautiful friend, does wire wrapping that is to die for, out of this world. And her husband Cosmic Drips does spray paint art, but their 15-year-old son did a spray paint art and had mom and dad ship it to me for my birthday. The whole family is ridiculously talented and they have amazing stuff. So if you are not following them or have not seen their work, please give them a follow and please check it out. My painting is right behind me. Gosh, I could flip my camera. Time out. We're going to flip. Into my mess. So this is the painting. Oh, it's kind of blurry. All right, I'm going to flip you back and then I'll grab it off of there and show you that their son did. But they all are so talented. They make amazing art. And, oh, Quinn's a nasty mercy Tim. So this is, oh, I don't know if I can even show this. Can you flip it this direction? So it is the moon, the galaxy. It is just to die for. So this is the kind of art that they do. Most amazing. You need to go see their shows. I'm just saying. So, all right. We're going to go back to the pin and we're going to do some things with that. Because we can. Yeah, they do beautiful, beautiful work. So we did have this that we pre-cut. So we already did this pretty little lady. I think what we're going to do for this is create a journaling card. And we need our stamp off. It's ironic that this is Casey's shipping envelope sitting here. Printed on the wrong printer. So we're going to do this again, but this time we are going to grab this one. Let me see if this one will work. Oh, that one does work. We'll see if it will do our thing. So take your stamp, put it on the acrylic block, and see if it's going to stick down. Oh yes, she has gorgeous. Casey, do you still do your scoops that I used to like hoard? She sells beautiful cabs. She sells beautiful gemstones. She used to do amazing scoops. Oh my God. She still does amazing scoops. I just haven't bought any lately. I suck. So again, I'm just tapping because this is a new stamp and I don't know what it's going to do. So we're going to test it over here. A lot of times with this type of ink, I hold it down and I count in my head 1001, 1002, 1003. It's kind of weebly wobbly. And we've got some edging. So I know that this is going to be problematic. So I'm going to pay attention to that when I actually stamp it on my cardstock. So they are going to let you do physical therapy. That's good. Yes. I get lost in my tote of beads from you. Is it best to trim stamps? I'm going to answer that in a minute because I don't like the way this is sideways like this. I may have to get a good image, but we're going to try. Just going to very carefully stamp that down. And I know that that's over here. I'm holding it down. Sometimes you just have to. I'm saying. Yeah, see, that did not give me a good image. So, what we are going to do is take our glasses off. Oh, I don't like this. No, I can't do this with this stamp. Yes, you can, Tam. You can do this with anything. Trust in yourself. Okay, I lined that one up. Look at that. I didn't want to fail on camera, but I lined it up, so we're good. The one you saw wasn't it. You're waiting on an M. Yeah, the processes are insane. And the fact that it was a car accident, so you've probably got attorneys and the legal system involved does not help matters in the least, right, Casey? Peen, peen, peen. No legal? Oh, well, okay. I made the assumption that it was because of the accident, you had to have legal involved. Oh my, Rob got my coffee really hot. So, if we're going to make a journaling card, here is this. Yeah, you need to have a good doctor. You can do a couple of things here. One of the things that I really like to do, excuse me, is to take a ruler and draw some writing lines. Can I do this with my dip pen? Yes. Do I want to? Not necessarily. I think what I'm going to do here is create some pencil lines. And the best way to do this is to give myself, I'm going to go down a little bit, and I'm going to start like right here. And I'm just going to make some random pencil lines. I'm lining the edge of my ruler up here so I know it's going to be straight with what I'm doing. I'm literally just eyeballing the spacing. You could be precise with it. You don't have to. It's whatever works for you. I'm not going to worry too much about it. But this is one way to do a journaling card. If you don't have all the printables, if you don't have all the fancy dancy kits and all those things, and the fact that I'm doing this with a pencil makes it very non-intimidating because pencil can be erased, y'all. If I get this project done and I go here and I'm like, well, crap, I don't want all these writing lines all the way down into this. I'm not going to write down there. But if I have a black pen and I want to write over this, I can. Does that make sense? So I have some lines here. I can do the other side as well, which we are going to do. No, we're not, because we're going to tape that down to that card base. So with this, we're going to go back to my clogged glass pen. Good gracious for me, oh my. I'm going to get as much ink out of these wells as I can. And I am going to take my black ink. Oh no, I don't want my black ink because I'm doing this all in browns. Let's do a darker brown, raw umber. That should be pretty dark. Good night. Have sweet dreams, my dear. Thank you again for the raid. I appreciate you so very much. Thank you. I'm glad you're going in the right direction with your medicals. So I'm going to take this little dipper out. I'm going to dip my pin in. Again, make sure you wipe the excess because you don't want a bunch of drips everywhere. Put my lid back in. Make sure you close that so you do not knock it over. And we're just going to kind of decorate this. So we are going to put and you can decorate it, you can just write notes, you can do whatever you want to do. It really doesn't matter. If you want to have fun with your pen, you can make some little swirlies. We can do some little swirlies over here. Doesn't really matter. We can do some little swirlies down here. Tie it all together. And this is where this comes in that's fun. You can just doodle with these pens. These are great for doodling. They're great for filling in spaces. And they're also great for journaling. There we have it. Do we have some more cardstock over here? We do. Another tag. What do we want to write on this one? We can take our ruler, like we had before. Oh, that's not going to work. Yeah, that's funny. That does not like that. Oh, because I let it dry. Again. Gracious, Tim. So note to self, don't let the ink dry, my friends. Welcome, everyone. Weathered Shanty, welcome. Deborah One Crafty Cal, welcome. Fifth Dimension Customs, welcome. So if you are a handmade seller or creator, please thank you for acknowledging me. I know a lot of you are creators in here. Why am I not following you? I'm following you back now. All the things that we have in common. That's awesome. I too am a nurse, and I too am an ex-army wife. That doesn't quite count as a vet, but there we go. So thanks for coming in. We're playing with a glass dip pen. We're kind of killing some time. It kind of counts. Kind of, not really, but kind of. Because Carmen is going to be doing the second portion of our demo, but she has not quite made it home yet. So we are playing. I'm going to see if this is going to work along. It does. Good job, Tim. We're going to make some lined paper with this. We're going to make a journaling card. You can do with it what you want, but you know what? It's going to match our project at the end of the day, which is very important. Okay, so we're starting to lose ink. It may take a little bit more ink because it's brushing up against this. Um, so kind of pay attention to that. And it doesn't have to be dark, obviously. You just want those lines. You can also dump ink in like an inkwell, but I find that wastes ink. So as long as you keep your pen clean and you're not compromising. Oh my goodness, that didn't work at all. You're not compromising your ink bottle. You should be good. This just doesn't want to work, this line. This line is saying, Tam, you're done with this idea. Yeah, it's catching the side of the ruler. That's funny. We just messed that up. Oops, happy accidents. We will work that into our project. Yeah, no, this does not like this at all. So, can she draw a straight line? Or is it even going to do it? All right, so this gets a little challenging. I'm not touching the ruler. I'm just kind of using it as a guide. Because when I touch the ruler, the pen doesn't want to write. And this is where we get amazing organic journaling lines. They're not going to be straight. They're not going to be perfect. But I kind of like the wonkiness of it. You may want to get a regular pen. Oh my gosh. My bracelet gets caught over here and it doesn't want to do what it's doing. Flipping around. Be helpful if we could see what we're doing, right? So again, like I said earlier, if that tip starts drying out, just get a damp cloth and wipe your tip rather than waste all that ink. Does that make sense? So I'm just breaking up that drying up paint. And so what it's doing is it's allowing me to start drawing again or writing or whatever it is I'm doing with this ink. Does anybody have any questions about this? I will do my best to answer them. Now, see, if I would have given up, I would have wasted all of this ink. And again, I'm turning it because that little divot is running dry of ink. So I'm just rolling my pen and I'm going to a new one because each one of those is filled with ink and I don't want to waste it. I'm just going to be sassy there, but it wouldn't let me, so. I can see all the ink on there, but it doesn't want to work. So we're going to dip it in water so it doesn't get too dried out. And that is a hot mess, but nevertheless, it is a beautiful hot mess. And I can use this as a journaling card. I can pop this in one of the envelopes. I can put it on a card back. I can attach it with eyelets as soon as I find them and have it be a flip up. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with this. Right now I'm going to put this lid on before I spill this. Sharon, you are very welcome. Thank you for hanging out. This is kind of how my brain works, and this is what we do. We just play. I did, it's funny, here, my rabbit hole for today. I've been putting together kits to make needle books. And so I was going through some totes of fabric, getting fabric out, and I happened to glance over and I actually found an old ATC swap that I ran a bazillion years ago. I don't know if any of them are dated, which is kind of funny to me. I am going to assume, let me see if anybody, April of 2005. So yeah, that gives you an idea of how long I've been running ATC swaps. It's kind of funny. It's from April of 2005. Insane. So while we're waiting on Carmen to get her stuff finished up, I'm going to just flip through and show you these swaps. Says Harmony. This is a good friend of mine. This is... Oh, wow. These are some people that from years ago. There's that one. I don't even remember what this theme was. Does it say? No. Most of these people's personal information are on them, which is why I'm not flipping them over. But these are some different techniques that we can do. I can teach you over time. This is kind of the same concept of what I just taught you tonight with this tag, which is kind of funny. Same concept. You're just stamping off and putting a saying over the top. You just learned how to make the needle books. Make one for yourself for bookbinding tools. Yeah. So I went to a fabric store this last week and I got all the different colored felts, and I should have kits posted for that by Wednesday, Thursday. Mother Trucker Boutique, welcome. So those are loads of fun. Oops. Oh my word, these are from so long ago. What's scary is I have most of these stamp sets still. Daisies, I'm going to go faster. I don't know if any of this is giving you any ideas, but it's always fun to see other people's creativity and their cards. Hey, we were on the paperclip train today. And that's another thing. I use the poly shrink with my swap last month, and I'm going to demo how to use that because I have a ton of it here. This, that's perfect timing, Carmen, because that was the end of my ATC swap. Perfect timing. All right. Does anybody need anything? Does anybody want to grab inks before we go? Excuse me. Good. I know, right? It's a whole situation. So we have managed to make, we've demoed the pen. We made dangles. Please bookmark Thursdays Create with Me if you would like to learn how to make the This? No, it will actually, Cleta, be on Gathered Crafters YouTube. So as soon as I raid into her, my YouTube is going to stop. And as soon as she starts her show, her YouTube show is going to start. So she will have it as well. It'll be two separate ones. So we're going to be making things like this on Thursday. If you'd like to learn how to do that, please bookmark my shows. Um, yeah. So Carmen, we have a tag and some journaling cards to put in whatever you make. So a couple of people played along, and yeah, so there we go. So I have it bookmarked, so whenever you want to go live, I think we are ready to come play with you. I have a ton of stuff in the bin. Tomorrow we are going to be back in the art room, and we are going to be doing, I always do on Tuesdays, we work in our mental health journal. I like doing exercises to help with mental health, as well as teaching basic techniques. So if you would please bookmark those shows, I appreciate you. Thank you all for hanging out with me. It is much appreciated. Much love to each and every one of you. We are going to go see Miss Carmen. And each and every one of you have a blessed evening, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Good night.